Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Regina, and today I'm going to be doing my everyday makeup, which is kind of like a really cutesy, it's just an over blush look. And yeah, I use my Hydrator primer. So now I'm going to go ahead and go in with my color corrector, which is this one. And I just put it on my area's discoloration. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that out. If I'm looking down, it's because I have a mirror right here that I'm just looking down at. Yeah, so for me, I really love doing like these cutesy looks. I feel like because of my cheekbones, it really just makes the makeup look overall like really cutesy. And that's kind of like the vibe I've been living for. I started doing like the blush around like 2023. Maybe it was 2022. I started doing that, like the heavy blush look since then, 2022, yeah. And I really loved it, and I was like, whoa, how come I have never worn blush like this before? And I like had one no powder blush that I was using, and I used that for every blush look. Like, I just didn't change it up. And after I started using this other like blush in this like pink palette, after I started using that blush, I was put on to blushes. I was like, oh my gosh, I love blushes, and I didn't even know. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead in my foundation, which I place onto this palette, but it's really just like a mixture of 3 foundations, which is like my White Girl Matte Caramel, my Black Radiance, and the shade Nutmeg, these 2, and I used 1 squirt of my Fenty in the shade 385, and then I mixed it up. Yeah, the reason I mixed it up is I really like the Wet n Wild formulation. It feels dewy, doesn't feel heavy, and I put the Fenty for the full coverage, and then I put the Nutmeg color because it like blends it to be to my skin tone, especially my summer shade. And then I just placed it on areas of discoloration first, which is like my cheek, under my eye, and my chin. And I do these areas first because if I don't start there and blend out, then I don't feel like the coverage it's not a fuller coverage that helps cover up those areas of discoloration. I mean, sometimes they seep through and I'm okay with it, but that's kind of what I'm going for, a more natural look, which I am today. So I don't think I'm gonna put a lot, because it does feel like it's a little warm out, and I'm like, if it's wets off, I'm like, I'm okay with it. But yeah, it's actually blending out really well. Yeah, and then you see the difference already. Okay, and then after I do that, I just do the same, and I just build the coverage up. I recently watched the anime My Marriage After something. It was an anime, I think it's like a fantasy drama where this main character is kind of like Cinderella, gets engaged to like an army commander, and it's a fantasy anime where they have superpowers. And I really liked the first season, the voice actor on that season, who did the girl's voice. It was so, it had that 90s angst that I remember like watching in a lot of shows, like the voice actress, and she had a way of conveying emotion that was very believable for that character, which was supposed to be brought up in this like sad situation where obviously Cinderella situation, so it's like the parents her stepmother mistreated her stepsister, and she just grew up without a lot of love. And even though her father was alive, he didn't do anything to like dissuade that kind of behavior. And so she grew up feeling very just like a sad child growing up. And so when she meets her fiance, he kind of, in his gentle way, shows her love and warmth. And I thought it was like a really beautiful anime, only because like I really love the voice acting that the season 1. Season 2 they changed up the girl, and it just, not gonna lie, it changed the whole dynamic of the story. It just felt like, who's she? I don't know her. Like, it was such a, I'm putting the black ratings because I feel like it's a little bit too pale, but yeah, that anime was so good. And I just finished it, and it's like I just watched Japanese live action show that was like very similar, and I was like, hold up, is this a trope? Like I've never seen this trope before. And I'm like, this must be a trope, because I've seen like 3 dramas with a similar like arranged marriage, and they think it's gonna be to like a brute, and it ends up being like, no, those are just rumors. So yeah, I really love that show. And it had like a happy ending. I thought it was gonna end like tragically, because I was watching some of the reels online. I'm like, oh, did he die? Well, I thought he would. It just felt like that would happen to her. Because like she like had like a sad thing, and she kept praying like, oh, I want to stay together forever. Let us stay together. And I'm like, ooh, they're not gonna stay together. Something's gonna happen. Life's gonna cut something short. That's what I thought was gonna happen. I was like, okay, let's watch a tragical romance. But it wasn't like that. It was really good. Happy ending. And I feel like I've been like watching a lot of anime that have like a bittersweet ending. Like I just on my birthday finished like the JoJo series, and I was like, my world was wrecked. I literally was like, why did I finish this on my birthday? Like, what is life after this? Because it's just like the ending was just totally like that threw me. And it was funny because it was my brother's recommend, and he was like telling me for like 2 years, like, watch it, it's good, it's so good, it's so good. And like the more shows that he recommends me, I'm realizing, okay, he likes a bittersweet ending, and I'm like, I don't like shows like that. I really don't. I mean, I like it, it's good, but I can't handle like my emotions at the end of it. Like I feel so depressed at the end, whereas he's like, that was a good show. And I'm like, are we watching the same thing? That was heartbreaking, or that was just like you just feel like life, I don't know, some sort of like existential crisis that happens when you watch like a bittersweet anime. And like I feel like all the animes that he had been recommending me up until that point had this similar ending, and then I just watched that one. I'm like, oh, this nigga, he tried to fuck with me on my birthday. But yeah, so that was kind of like what an anime that I was watching that kind of like threw me. So watching an anime that's like the sweet and happy ending was like, this is my shit. And then I watched Mob Psycho. That anime was also, that was my shit. Like it was just goofy and funny. And I usually watch anime in Japanese dub, but like those English dub shows, I watched it in English dub, And I was like, okay, this is giving. Like, I was like, it's reminding me like of the animes I used to watch like growing up. Okay, about this, I'm using my concealer, and I'm an introvert, so I'm a homebody. So when I like go out or something, I just like, that's the time I'm like, okay, let's get our makeup done, make it a day, make it eventful in some way, because I literally need to be among the living for sometimes. I need to be among the living sometimes. Okay, so this is how I do my eyebrows. Just use the same concealer to just line up the brows. But yeah, summer usually is my big anime watching time. I think it's because like when I was younger, summer vacation and then anime. So I like still have that what's the internal clock that like, okay, summer's the time where I watch anime. Because a lot of these animes I watched, they came out in the winter and fall, but it was just not giving. It wasn't the vibe for me personally. And so I was like, okay, let's just save these for the summer, make it a vibe. And I'm like, oh, this is very nostalgic. I feel very nostalgic right now. I have like that internal like clock or meter. Like I remember like if I watched, like for example, I used to watch Prison Break in the fall winter when it came out, the series came out. So if I ever rewatch it, I watch it around that time. I don't know. It makes it, it gives the same nostalgic feeling of when I watched it at that time. And like, so when I'm watching different shows, I'm like, if I watch it in a different season, it just feels wrong. It doesn't feel like it doesn't give as much as it could if I was watching it in the season that I allotted to watch it in. I don't know. That's what I do. I don't know if other people are like that. Comment if you are, because I'm not the only one. I don't think I am. Yeah. It's kind of like when, like each season when you have different perfumes growing up, and I guess, or different scents that you grow up around that you're like, oh my God, I used to wear this scent in this season. And that's the same thing for me, where movie wise, like if I watched it during this time, I'm like, ooh, I could watch it during that time. But sometimes like I'll do a show in a different season. I'm like, oh, this oddly fits. And that's kind of rare, but like when that happens, it's a happy accident, a happy surprise. I'm gonna do my eyebrows while I let the concealer kind of congeal so that it's a little bit more full coverage. And I'm just using these, I got this on Amazon, these little pots. I think it was like from like a really cheap brand, but I've had it for a while now, and it's like, it just has the perfect pigmentation for me, really. I use a lot of powder for my brows because they're so thin and sparse. So look at that, it makes it look like I have like a thick set of eyebrows. Which makes me very happy. We're gonna be going for a soft girl look, which is my go-to look, and now I'm gonna go ahead and put some powder on. I'm actually gonna go easy with my powder because I don't really bake like I used to, especially on hot days. I'm not gonna lie. I'm okay with the makeup melting a bit. I'm okay with the glazed look a little bit. Glazed donut vibes. And I'm just using my L'Oreal Marseille powder. time, so I need to get it on the road, get it done. I think I'm gonna do my brows just a little bit heavier, just a bit more heavier. Okay, and I'm going to be contouring with this Wet n Wild brown and just picking it up, contouring. I don't know if it's showing up. I'm gonna use my hands. There we go. And now I'm gonna blend that out. Okay, I like that. It doesn't feel too harsh. All right, and now I'm gonna do my blush. Before I do that, I'm gonna use my lip balm and just put that on top. Okay, I'm just gonna use a pink. And yep, I'm just adding my blush. And I go crazy with my blush, really. Put it on my nose, on my cheeks. Just like that. And it, like, look at that. Look, it has that like really nice natural finish. And depending, like, you could put powder on if you wanted to like subdue it a little more. But I like this like that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and set my face. And I need to get some more Morphe setting spray because that's my go-to, and I like the way that it finish was. But I got this one because I was wearing like heavier makeup, and it just like helps the makeup last longer. Which again, I don't really care that much for that if it's like I'm doing like a little low-key look. Okay, so I'm gonna do my lips now. I have this Wet n Wild brown shade. It's in the shade Mink Brown 534B. I'm just gonna line my lips with this one. And I like this color because it's very kind of like natural for me. And then I add like a gloss in the middle. Actually, I'm gonna add a lighter color. So this is L'Oreal Estee Lauder in the shade Envy. Ooh. Yeah, it's 120 Envy. It's like a light color. Like, it's gonna go in the middle. and I really love the shade. It just gives it such a... Usually I just put the blush and I put it on my lips, but I like this one. And I still want to just go in with some brown on my eyelids from this Wet n Wild color. And it's like a cool tone palette that I really like. I'm just going to use some of the ash gray right there. And I'm just gonna use the same brush that I used to put my eyebrows on my lower lash line. Smudge out that, like, the color. So this is the final look, and this is my like really me kind of look. That is my everyday look. Yeah. So yeah, so if you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and bye.